few days ago, there was chaos at the media center in Harare, where Senator Morgan Komichi from the Movement for Democratic Change was having his press conference talking about the new United Movement for Democratic Change, UMDC. Some party supporters loyal to other party leaders came and disrupted the event. We have invited Senator Morgan Komichi to shed more light about the new project, why and how. And as usual, we urge you to subscribe, like, or just follow. What you only need to do is to click that button so that every time when Sly Media goes live on air, you will not miss these programs. And remember also, we are live streaming from several social media platforms. What you need to do is just to do the same. And as I've said, we have invited the opposition top leader, Senator Morgan Komichi, to our studio to talk about United Movement for Democratic Change. Is it a new political party? Is it a splinter party? Is it a faction within the MDC? Let's hear more from Senator Morgan Komichi. Thank you very much for accepting the invite to come to our studio.
Thank you so much, Robert, for the invitation, and I would like to take this opportunity to greet all listeners in Zimbabwe and abroad. Thank you so much, Robert. MDC it lost its objectives by the time we lost the iconic leaders such as Morgan Tsvangirai, Vice President Gibson Sibanda, the first national chairperson Isaac Matongo. These three gentlemen had a vision and it values what they wanted to achieve for the people of Zimbabwe. They had a type of Zimbabwe that they wanted to see. A democratic Zimbabwe, an economically strong Zimbabwe, a politically free Zimbabwe, where they wanted every Zimbabwean to participate in politics without any intimidation or any fear, where they wanted the economy to grow to an extent that every person in Zimbabwe would be fed or get employment. This was the vision of this man. They were creating a new Zimbabwe for the youth. They never at all at one moment thought that after their death, Zimbabwe will be in this economic crisis, in this political crisis in which they are. Unfortunately, many people who were working with these gentlemen have forgotten the trajectory. They've forgotten the way forward. They've forgotten what we were there for. Some of us were involved in the democratic struggle in which we questioned and held the government of Mugabe accountable, and we acted to show that we really wanted to bring change in Zimbabwe. Many young people who were left and who took over the leadership of this great party are not as serious as Morgan Tsvangirai, Baba Gibson Sibanda, and Baba Isaac Matongo were. I'm aware how serious they were. So this is where I've come in and reconnected. At the beginning, where these men left this struggle, what were they doing as MDC leaders? They were holding the government of the time accountable. They would talk to people openly and freely. They would go in the street and demonstrate to show concern, to show that they were representing people genuinely. Morgan Tsvangirai was always in prison. He was battered, he was tortured. Day and night, he was charged even with the fake treason charge. Remember the fake treason charge? Because he was a man who represented the people. He was brave. And I said, where did this man learn this leadership style from? I go in the Bible. I saw all leaders of the time were as brave as that. Moses himself, when he went to free the Israelites from Egypt, he did not mince his word. He was very clear to Pharaoh, and he liberated the sons of Israel. When Jesus finally came to introduce the new governance system on earth, written in the New Testament, he did not bother, he did not waste his time, he was very confrontational. He was very clear and sacrificial. He was very much committed to the introduction of his father's new world. And they resisted him, and they arrested him, they humiliated him, but he stood on his word as a leader, to an extent that he had to be crucified for our sins. This is the reason why today every Christian person praise that man. His word is still expanding all over the world because he demonstrated unique leadership. So if the Son of God with almighty powers would actually sacrifice his own life and his own future, he died at the age of 33 years, young indeed, but he did not care because he wanted to save the people of the world. 8 billion people, the ones that he died for. So whom am I to sit on my roller, to forget to live in luxury when people of Zimbabwe are suffering? Only 16 million people. That's why I've made a decision yesterday to say I've let you guys do whatever you wanted. I've been observing what you were doing. You are not interested. You don't have the vision to save the people of Zimbabwe. You are interested in personal gains. So I cannot let that. What disappointed me most was the greatest part of the moment for a time led by President Mwonzora, which actually produced a prime minister in Zimbabwe, and produced a speaker, and produced many urban council mayors. Today, it's regarded as a ZANU-PF appendage. That is a criminal charge that should take someone to life imprisonment. To cause MDC to be labeled ZANU-PF appendage by the people that died, that loved the MDC before. MDC has got graves, has got victims today. In Ezirema, MDC has got victims of rape, homes that were burned, displaced people internally and externally, diasporians all over the world. They were forced to leave Zimbabwe because of MDC. MDC, the same part today, when you talk about MDC in the corridors, people laugh at you. When they see you even moving in the streets of Highfields, people point fingers at you. It's ZANU-PF appendage. How can I accept that nonsense? I personally suffered under ZANU-PF hands when I was fighting for the democratic change in Zimbabwe. I was tortured. I was imprisoned. I was beaten. And I cannot at all afford to let myself get a label of ZANU-PF when I'm just watching. And I know so many people in Zimbabwe are happy with what I'm doing. They are happy with what I did. Because I've taken the decision, I've taken a bold decision that very few men would do, and women could do that. And I've got that characteristics.
Yes. You came out in open and like what happened yesterday, and to what you are describing as a bold decision.
Yes.
Senator Komichi, where were you in the last 5 years when all this was happening?
There is always God's time. I was watching. I was watching and was waiting for the time. This is the right time for me to show the world that I can stand up against any odd. Right now, I'm prepared to cross any river, no matter how many crocodiles are there. I'm prepared to cross the river to save MDC, to save Zimbabwe, to save Zimbabwe. I'm prepared to take that move. I've taken that move, no matter what is standing in front of me. MDC is left by Mwonzora cannot go in the doldrums. This is the time. That's why I've chosen the word United Democratic Movement Movement for Change, United Movement for Democratic Change, because I've looked at the juncture of Mwonzora with Baba Swand and Isaac Mato. There was an MDC, but with the time, the MDC went into splinter groups. So what I'm now doing, I'm recollecting all those splinter groups into the United Movement for Democratic Change, which is equal to the original MDC as was led by Mwonzora. Even when Mwonzora passed on, one legacy that he left for me and all of us here in Zimbabwe, he collected the splinter groups which had gone away, one under Ngube, one under Biti, and he brought them together. That is, at the moment, the time of his death, he left a solid original MDC. But immediately after that, the MDC again went into the other splinter groups. Other splinters, they've changed the colors. Other splinters are the ones that are selling to ZANU-PF. But we need to bring them together under the united movement for democratic change. So as I stand right now, I am calling everyone who has got the MDC blood in his veins, whether you had gone to ZANU-PF by disappointment, whether you had gone to CCC by disappointment, whether you are still under the leadership of Mwonzora but you have no choice, I'm here to save you. So I am calling everyone to come back. Let us push for our party, United Movement for Democratic Change, to go back to the values of our forefather, Baba Tsvangirai, in terms of the struggle.
Yes, Senate, as you have rightly said, when Morgan Tsvangirai left, he left a united opposition party, MDCT. To date, what he left, per se, be it Ngube and part of the others, they are still in one group. It is you who have gone the other way. Who is supposed to come and join who here? Despite the names that are there now.
I did not go to any other route. Morgan Tsvangirai died being the president of MDC. So others who were there with Tsvangirai are now president of other political parties. So do not dwell much on that. But I'm just clarifying the truth. I am one of the senior leaders who are still on the tracks of Morgan Tsvangirai, which is MDC. What I'm doing now, I'm inviting all divisions or all groups of people that had gone astray because of certain reasons. All these compartments you see are because of certain reactions, interactions and reasons out of the certain behaviors of certain leaders. So I'm here coming to you and to the whole world right now and Zimbabwe at large as a national unifier. First, I want to unify the opposition. I want to unify all the people that fought who died and who fought for change during Baba Tsvangirai's time. And I want to unify them. Because what has caused these splitters that you see is probably the leadership that lacks unification, the sense of unification. Because you must be unified. Also, you can be surprised. Douglas took over the MDC. And within a year's time, there is Mzuri MDC, there is Mwonzora MDC. What I'm trying to do right now is to unify. That's why I'm saying United Movement for Democratic Change. And I believe I got a characteristic as a leader to unify people. And that's my nature, to unify people. And I believe I can do a great job to bring back the normalcy in the opposition politics. Right now, the opposition politics in Zimbabwe is not as vibrant as what you could hear in South Africa. It's not as vibrant as what you can hear in Kenya. I was in Kenya 2 weeks ago. There's vibrance of opposition, where the opposition holds the government of the time accountable to the increase in prices of food commodities. Here things are quiet. The hikes of the exchange rate are alarming and are dangerous and give us the memories of the 2007. And the opposition is quiet. What is happening? And the salaries of the civil servants are valueless. Right now, the dollar has lost value and the opposition is quiet. Why are we quiet? And I'm saying the opposition needs to be rejuvenated, regurgitated into the real opposition movement. We got one of our fighters right now, Job Scala, who is languishing in jail. For what reason? He committed a crime of what magnitude compared to the rapists that are out, compared to the armed robbers that are out, who are being tried coming from home. Job Scala, yes, of course, he is accused of having incited some violence in Yatsime, but he deserves the bail. He qualifies to get a bail, just like any Zimbabwean. Under the laws of the country.
Senate, looking at
let me complain on that. Jacob Ngaruvume is in prison right now for 3 years. For what really? The case that he committed deserved community service. He wrote a Twitter calling for Zimbabweans to demonstrate against corruption, which is true. Zimbabwe is infested with corrupt leaders. On the international index, it is on number 55 out of 185. Corrupt countries in the world. And Jacob Ngaruvume told us it was calling for a true action, which I strongly believe the president was supposed to pat him at the back. The president was supposed to invite him and advise him to go ahead to talk more about corruption. Instead, the judiciary took the man for 3 years in prison, and the opposition is quiet, doing nothing. And you really believe that we've got opposition that really needs to stand with the people of Zimbabwe?
Yeah, the
I
opposite.
don't believe.
Yeah, the
that is why I'm coming in the forefront. And that's why I'm coming, taking the leadership right now. I want to revamp the opposition politics in Zimbabwe. I want to engage my partners in opposition to come on board, to share the same table, and make sure that we hold the government accountable. The life in Zimbabwe at the moment is unbearable. Teachers are suffering, soldiers are suffering, policemen are suffering, general public is suffering. The economy is declining daily, and we are quiet. And I'm saying, the opposition leader, let us meet, let us sit around the same table, and let us hold the government accountable. Let us act, let us true opposition leaders. My figure,
looking at your character, looking at your personality, where do you think, as a leader within the MDC, you have contributed negatively to what it is today? If you want to be honest with the people that follow.
I think my quietness betrayed me. My humbleness betrayed me. My humbleness betrayed me. I would wish I could have done what I did today long back. Probably I could have said the situation. But however, time is God's time. What we think was a delay, God was making something, was building something within the situation, the environment, where people would believe you. Today I can talk with confidence. I can talk with examples. Probably if this had happened before what has happened in our country, people would not have believed me. But today I can point out where weaknesses are in opposition, where weaknesses are in the government, what is supposed to be done right now to bring order to this nation, great nation.
But since the day of the Supreme Court judgment, where Madame Kumbe, the ruling said Madame Kumbe was supposed to lead the opposition, you went the other way. What made you believe in Douglas Mwonzora by then, which has changed now?
No. I never believed in him as such, but you know, I contested at the EOC, which therefore means I didn't believe in him. I knew he had certain weaknesses, which have been proved now. But when people decided to stand with him, I'm now vindicated. Because when I was campaigning during those days, I used to tell them the challenge of the opposition politics. And I said, there shall come a time when a unify shall rise. The new opposition will start. But at the moment, we are going to disintegrate. And I knew that we were going to disintegrate to this level. I knew that. But
you may say you did not believe in him. But looking at the last Congress, according to some of your members, even within the structures, they call it a sham Congress, which it is said you endorsed as the party chairperson.
I deliberately did that.
Why?
I wanted to see, to have evidence. I said I wanted to see and have evidence of the weakness of this process that I'm going through. I wanted to see I was there. Because at every particular stage, very reasonable points were being raised by myself, by Honorable Mzuri, by Honorable Vincent Changirai, raising issues that were of great concern. And I wanted to see...
Where were you raising these?
In organs of the party.
Okay.
Yes, of course. From the standing committee to the National Executive Committee to the National Council Committee. I was deliberately wanted to see exactly what was happening. And that made me get convinced to make the decision that I am now. I am not regretting or do I feel any guilty because I saw what was happening. That what was happening was undemocratic. That is not what we went to the court for. And that's not what we termed constitutionalism or democratic values. That's not what we accused Chamisa for. We did not accuse them for that. But what I then saw happening, actually, I can actually say Chamisa was better off than what Douglas then did in the process of getting to the power where he is today. Do you know that nobody in the part of MDC, from the provinces and structures and wards, ever confirmed his leadership right now? He looked for his friends from part of the country and changed the system of our Congress processes to a national council, which shocked everybody. And they confirmed you.
But, Senator, okay, now let's go within even to your supporters, like what you've described. of all the party supporters, under his leadership, one person could then manipulate the whole system and become a leader, and everyone else is quiet.
They are not quiet. No. You see what's going to happen within 2-3 weeks from now. They are not quiet. Yes. I'm receiving calls after calls. One of the calls just came in and Zimbabwean. They are happy. You did what we were afraid of doing. You shocked us, so we'll be with you. So many people who wanted to vote against Douglas Mwonzora at the Congress are phoning every day. They are so happy. They are so happy, and they are saying this is the way to go. And some of the people who had gone to ZANU-PF have actually phoned me that were coming back home. Some of the people who had gone to Triple C have phoned me and said, that's the way to go. And they've said, come to our areas, we would want to organize rallies for you. Okay. Those people. So, which therefore means my call for unification, my call for united movement for democratic change is receiving positive signs.
There's also a school of thought, Senator, that one of the reasons why particularly the top leadership within your party, MDC, went quiet, did not speak out against your party leader, Douglas Mwonzora, then, especially members of parliament and senators, is because they were afraid of being recalled from parliament.
That's the major issue, really. Totally agree with you. That's the major issue. And it only takes a leader to decide, to make a decision, to cross a river infested with crocodiles. That is what I've done.
So as leaders,
I'm crossing the river. No matter how many crocodiles are there, I don't care. So I don't care about the records. I don't care about anything. I want to save my part. I want to save MDC. MDC cannot die whilst I'm watching. If I remember my president and the victims of the democratic struggle in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe, the diasporans, I shed my tears. I cannot afford that. So my life doesn't matter here. My life as Morgan Komichi doesn't matter here. If the crocodiles in the river are going to eat me, let them feed on me.
Maybe for now, the recalls are insignificant with just a few weeks before the harmonized elections. So coming to the UMDC, who have you talked to come up with such a project?
I would really want to protect some of the big names because of what you have raised, my recalls.
Okay.
But I did not just jump onto the front without the blessings of many senior leaders.
Okay.
They are there. The question is whether they will have the courage to swim across the river of crocodiles is something else. But I got the blessings of many people in the standing committee leadership. Some of them even phoned me, really acknowledging the brevity I showed. And let me protect their integrity, their names. Many provinces right now are running around as we speak right now, identifying candidates for the UMDC right now. All provinces, the 10 provinces of the country, they are jumping up and down to come out with a short time left. We will not do what we would do if we had done upon a time. But whatever we're going to come out with it, out of these 6 days, to us it will be success. And this is happening in the whole country. And many people want to enroll as candidates under the new political dispensation, rebranded anyway, the political dispensation, rebranded MDC. That is happening right now as we speak.
Is it not too late?
No, it is too late if you are. Some of this strategy.
Okay.
Right time to strike. And you measure yourself and accept an outcome as per your plan. I have a dream. I'm happy with the time. I have got a dream for the opposition political parties, and I've got a dream for the nation. I've jumped in here for bigger things to come. I want to unite Zimbabwe. Unite Zimbabwe. That's my objective. I want to unite Zimbabweans. Because I do believe Zimbabwe can become a prosperous country if it follows 3 value systems.
What are these?
Unity for all Zimbabweans. Peace for all Zimbabweans. And a shared vision.
But these three things that you've said, Senator, were not happening within MDC.
It requires
it
requires a leader who is passionate about it.
You were a leader.
No. I'm a leader now.
What were you then?
I was not the leader. I cannot say this is the head. The head is this one, where everything is cooked, where the mind plans, executes everything. It's there. What the opposition leader does, behaves, acts, sets the trajectory of any opposition revolution. So what was happening in MDC to a point where you PF is what the leader was doing. It was his behavior, going to the State House in the daylight, going to be COVID injected in Vic Falls in daylight, sharing the same platform with General Chiwenga at the Hiroseka, attending Independence Day. The family of the opposition party will condemn you. Because in politics, there are two families. There is family for the opposition and a family for the ruling party. These two families don't understand each other. One is opposing the other. The other is running the government. So when you decide to join politics, you have to be clear with an identity. Which identity do you want to associate with yourself? Right now, get it me right. I'm identifying with the family of the opposition. My friends are in the family of the opposition. They are not in the ruling party. I'm going to hold the ruling party accountable to save the people of Zimbabwe on social issues that they want, on the economic crisis, political crisis. I'm going to be on the part of the opposition to demand accountability from the state, from the government, from the ruling party. The current leader, the perceived current leader of MDC, never did that. He actually then got seen by the people of Zimbabwe as associating with the ruling party, and then got a name that we are ZANU-PF like. We are cleansing that deity. I have come here to cleanse the deity. The brand of MDC is an unquestionable brand, but it had been soiled to be called ZANU-PF. It pains me when I'm labeled.
Yes, but
I did not
endorse that. Because
I did not that as an opposition leader.
When you go to the conference of your party, they will say it's from the national. That is something that you must run away from. When the time comes to crisis, when the plane is falling, when the ship is sinking, you don't fold your hands and say the captain is there, even if the captain is under a stroke. You jump in to save the lives of the people. That's what I've done. I've jumped in to save the falling plane. I've jumped in to save the sinking. No, it's not too late. Don't underestimate time. Wonders can happen within 6 days. It's not. Do you think there's still life?
Yes.
For MDC?
Yeah, believe me. Believe me, it will have.
Or what is left of Harvest House?
President Chakwera revived MPC, Malawi MCP. It's not re-ruling. Remember, the MCP was almost not there. But a vibrant President Chakwera of Malawi came and regurgitated the roots and walls and dying whatever of MCP, sorry. And today is the president of the country. It is possible. It is possible for this particular this movement to be greater again, as long as it's being led by a leader who understands the theory of politics, who understands what's to be done, a leader who knows what should be said and done at any particular moment. It is so simple. If you lack the theory of politics, you go astray. The country doesn't have vibrant opposition, believe you me. Things are happening here and there. People are quiet. Is that opposition? It's not. We are just happy with what is there now because we don't have any alternative. And I'm providing the alternative. I'm introducing the real opposition. I am the alternative to the future of this country. I'm the alternative to the opposition of this country. I am the alternative. I was there when we started the MDC. I played critical roles in the strategies of MDC. I knew it, what was happening. So I have done that decision to save MDC from total collapse and to save Zimbabwe at the end of the day. Because I want to unify the people of Zimbabwe. I want to introduce peace in shared vision in Zimbabwe so that the economy can develop, so that sanctions can go, so that the people of Zimbabwe can benefit from the riches of their own country.
Quite a number of former MDC supporters and leaders saw it that the name MDC is no longer sellable. The brand is dead. If looking at the March 26 by-election, where members of the opposition were recalled from parliament, and to give an example, Triple C announced
an outfit.
A
new outfit, yes.
Triple C.
Yes.
And the outcome
was pleasing.
To them.
Very much pleasing.
Do you think, as of now, the brand MDC is acceptable to the electorate?
No. MDC brand is rooted in every household in Zimbabwe. It's rooted.
Yes.
Which means it's known. Mm-hmm. Let me give you a very simple analogy. Do you know that a Mercedes-Benz is a brand?
Yes.
Every normal human being would like it. Mm-hmm. But if I take the Mercedes-Benz right now and fill it up with raw sewage water, in and outside, would you like it? Robert, would you like that Benz?
I don't know.
No. Tell me the truth. You would not like it because it's messed up.
Yeah.
So, but if I go back and over the night I clean it, I perfume it, I polish it. If I show you the Benz, would you not take it?
Okay.
You would take it, isn't it? That's what we are going through. So we have identified the deep branding element that was there in MDC. People were clearly telling us during the by-election when we were doing door-to-door campaigns. They were telling us that we are not going to vote for you because of the jacket Ramakaisa on. The young men from Epworth, our then candidate from Epworth, went public and say, the jacket Rokafeka. That was the deep branding component. So the jacket has been removed. So we've cleaned the bands. So I also want to thank the young men who came to disrupt my meeting yesterday. I said, God, you are powerful. God, you are great. You have cleansed me. You have cleared me from the mess and the dirt that I was being labeled to have. These young men, you have been sent by your hand, my Lord, to cleanse me. I'm a clean man. I'm no longer the ZANU-PF light as I was being labeled. I'm no longer associated with the selling out the revolution. I'm no longer with the selling out of the struggle. Because to show that I never sold out, I am the only senator who voted against the 2 amendments that were brought by ZANU-PF in Parliament. I voted against them. I am the only senator who stood against the PVO bill. I am the only senator. I am one of the second senators who stood against the Patriot bill. So I never went to the State House. I never attended the independence. I never attended the Hero Seeker. Not that I don't respect the Hero Seeker. No, I'm Mjiba by nature. I participated as Mjiba. I respect the revolution. I respect the armed struggle, but I should not associate myself with the ruling party, because the ruling party is being accused by the people of Zimbabwe to have caused the economic challenges that they're going through in. So I cannot be seen associating. So what I would do as the president is to write about the heroes. I experienced the heroes. I saw the armed struggle. I participated as Mjiba. I carried out weapons. I carried out makasha, my bullets. I carried them out, helping to liberate this country of Zimbabwe. So I understand and appreciate very much the war of liberation. And I appreciate the independence very much. When we are now independent as blacks, is of course, in my vision, I'll tell you, we need to do more to complement the independence we got. Because I don't believe right now that we got a free African country. We don't have a free African country as we stand right now. We are still colonized, and we need to deal with those issues in the next episodes.
When Norest Marara and Elias Mwonzora took your party and your party leader to court to challenge the outcome of the Congress, why didn't you stand with them? Why didn't you come out?
It is the time. Strategy and time. Always be strategic as a person. Don't be taken by wind. Don't be taken by small things. plan properly, and hit when it is irreversible. We hit, it is now irreversible, right now, as we move. The 16 days are going to see a great movement come into play. The six days left are going to see the united movement for democratic change taking space, taking shape, and would participate, it would contribute to the election that is going to come on the 23rd of March. So that I can assure you.
So you are going to field candidates
we will fail not by design. We will fail by constraints. But the objective is that we must have the candidate as the president, must have members of parliament, provincial councils, must have all wards councillors. They must be enrolled. And I want to urge right now and appeal to the Zimbabweans to start right today identifying candidates. Due to time, we will not be able to do primary elections. Due to time, forgive me. I want you to appreciate that I believe in democracy. I believe in the democratic primary elections. I believe in them very much. But because of the time, I would want you to use what we call consensus. Speak to each other. The next time will come. But for now, because of the time, fill your ward councillors all over the world. 1,970 councillors must be put in place. 210 members of parliament must be put in place. Provincial councillors, PRs, senators, and let's get ready for the elections under the banner of the United Movement for Democratic Change, under the leadership of Senator Morgan Komichi.
Senator Morgan Komichi, have you talked to other opposition leaders and supporters to come and join the United Movement for Democratic Change?
I am currently on a whirlwind to meet certain leaders. I think within a few days, you'll be seeing pictures circulating. Today, I'm supposed to meet one of the opposition leaders right now. Actually, that's why I had said 11, because I'm supposed to meet an opposition leader somewhere around 12 to push the agenda on the question of unity, question of peace, question of shared vision. I want to look beyond these factional issues, to look at beyond these personal gains. I want to look at to look beyond power hungry. Toda kuseva vana veZimbabwe, please vatambura nejara, and we must bring order to this country. We must, as leaders, be responsible. That power, yes, but economy number one.
Just out of interest, Senator, probably now this is the time that your supporters may know the truth. When you're in MDC under the leadership of Douglas Mwonzora, we did not see your party selecting candidates to contest in the upcoming elections. Was it being done secretly? Some others were saying you were failing as a party to get candidates.
It is a collapsing movement under the leadership of Senator Mwonzora. It's a collapsing movement. Do you know what happens to when we are using a soap washes? You know that's it. That's what's happening. So confidence in using the name of their president on their campaign material. You saw it in the 26th March. People refused to use his picture as the presidential candidate.
According to him, that's why they didn't win.
No. People had been told kuti hatisi kuda munhu wamutungamirwa nayo. Ukatoya uri wega zviri better. Ungatowana 2 votes. Those ungaudzwa nevanhu. Vanhu vakaudzwa pavaifamba door to door ndozvavaiudzwa. Saka a normal man cannot remain stuck to that kind of a situation.
So my question is,
that is why I'm saying,
did you have candidates to contest in the elections as a party from the local authorities?
Why do you want to ask me about the thing that I've never attended the meeting since December. I've never been to the Harvest House since December. Okay. I've never attended any standing committee meeting since December up to today. So I don't know. I'm not part of the team. I don't want to speculate. I don't
speculate. What did they tell you about
I don't even know, because I was not even there. I never attended the meeting. I was actually removed from the group or the standing committee because of my non-attendance. I was following my heart. I'm not a simple person to be blessed. I don't believe in that. I'm not oppressible easily.
Okay.
That's my nature. Yeah.
So now, United Movement for Democratic Change. Let's talk about it after the elections.
Even before the elections. I want to share my vision.
Yeah.
We could have covered in the next episode.
Okay.
What I stand for, what I believe in, what I believe I can do to this nation to be liberated. I know people don't believe it, but the number of people that I have shared this vision with, they've shaken my hands.
But one of your visions was not to have elections.
No, it was those were the founding principles of the vision.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the founding principles. Those are building blocks. Yeah.
So for now, UMDC is a presidential candidate.
Yes, of
What
course.
is left is the members of parliament and...
it has members of parliament in some parts of the country.
Yeah.
Yes, and councillors from the Africa, but not many anyway by now.
Yeah.
But we would see by the time we go to Sunday, we would evaluate by Sunday, but we are getting very positive response anyway.
Yes.
The only challenge that we might have is not people, probably are the nomination fees, which ZEC introduced. It's quite pathetic. They're very difficult for many people to get. $1,000. It's very difficult for people to get. $200 are in the raw areas. That is really anti-democratic. It's a rigging mechanism by ZANU-PF and its institutions. And we do believe that an MP doesn't need to have money to be in parliament, because the work of the parliament has got nothing to do with development of funds. The work of the parliament simply is representation, lawmaking, and oversight, which has got nothing to do with how rich a man is or how rich the woman is. You become in parliament to represent the people of your area. Chino Timba did a great job during his term with the very little education that he has, but he did a great job as in parliament. So you don't need to put my charges or the fees that would then constrain generally unrich people to register as members of parliament. That should not happen.
Senator Komichi, do you regret working under the leadership of Senator Douglas Togarase Mwonzora?
There are two sides of the same coin. It could be regretting side as well as also learning side.
Learning or regret?
You learn. It's learning.
What did you learn?
It's learning.
What did you learn?
It's learning. I learned bad leadership. That's bad leadership. I now know what bad leadership is all about. Yes, I learned that.
So Mwonzora is an example of bad leadership.
Bad leadership is.
In
politics.
In politics.
Yes, it's bad leadership.
There are things that you could not speak out when you were under the bad leadership of Senator Mwonzora. Given the chance now to address your party supporters, what would you tell?
I don't want to dwell on personalities because people, they know it. People of MDC in Zimbabwe, they know Douglas Mwonzora in and out. They even know him more than me. So having taken this position of integrity of leadership, I don't want at all at any one interview to talk about how bad Mwonzora is, how bad Chamisa is, how bad ED is at a personal level. I don't want. I want to be involved in how best can we resolve the economic challenges of this country. How best can we involve the political challenges of this country. I want to be a national leader. I want to be an example of a unifier. So, and I do not to hold personal grudge with Douglas Mwonzora. No, I don't want it all. I'm simply calling the spade, that as a political leader is not a good leader, but in other spheres, he could be good, probably as a lawyer, or any other spheres outside politics, he can still perform very well. But as a political leader, he doesn't have the talent.
Your last message to your party supporters so that you can
yes,
and meet
guys, run all over Zimbabwe to identify candidates for the United Movement for Democratic Change. Let us fill councillors all over. The current situation is that councillors do not pay any money to register with the ZEC, so be prepared. Just come forward and register under UMDC. We must do all these things under peace. We must be united. We must share the same vision. Currently, for the UMDC, to that unity, to that peace, to that shared vision. This is achievable. This is possible. Don't be afraid of the time. Time is God's time. God is the one who has pushed me to come forward before you. I did not do this because of my own courage as Morgan, but the Lord knows why he did this. I know many people are surprised. It is the power of the Lord that can only surprise. It's not the power of individual that can surprise. So let us hold prayers all over the country. Let us praise the Lord all over the country that the Lord saved the sons and daughters of Israel. Today, the Lord can still save the sons and daughters of United Movement for Democratic Change. Lord, save Zimbabwe. Lord, save UMDC. Thank you.
There you heard it. This is Senator Morgan Komichi, the leader of United Movement for Democratic Change, UMDC. He said he's a unifier. Do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him? Do you think Senator Morgan Komichi will lead you astray? Do you think he will unite the opposition and Zimbabweans? This is the platform. Come, let's talk about it. This is an invite even to Senator Morgan, Senator Douglas Tograse Mwonzora. Do you want your voice to be heard in a peaceful environment where thugs do not disrupt press conference or political gatherings? Come to Sly Media and talk to Zimbabweans so that at the end of the day, they may believe in you. And as for now, all those that are contesting